Have you wondered why a rooster crows in the morning, why the moon only comes in the night, and why the peacock cannot fly higher? Well, I have answers to some of these questions with me today. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mehek. I hope you guys are all fine, and like always, I also hope that you guys are reading. Back with a book that I finished, which is quite interesting. It's Around the Hearth, Khasi Legends. It's by Kynpham Singh. I'm not even attempting the third, his surname, because it's quite worthy and I'm going to mess it up. I picked this book 2 years back and I truly regret not picking it sooner, to read, because it was absolutely delightful. I have always enjoyed, reading about legends and folk tales, and this book was such a delight. And I can't wait to share, what all amazing legends that I came across. Talking about the plot of the story. Now, as it says, Khasi Legends, it's all about the Khasi folktales and legends. Now, the Khasi tribe is one of the 7 tribes from the northeast of India. And very interesting fact that I came across, that before 1842, they didn't really have written manuals or manuscripts. So all of their stories were basically orally transmitted from one generation to another. It was only after 1842, when the manuscripts came into being, that they started noting down some of their stories. But before that, it was just oral transmission. The author says, the folktales are the perfect way to understand about a particular community, culture, or city, etc. place. And this book exactly does that. It, gives you a peek into the Khasi tribe, their way of living, their culture, and how nature is such a huge part of their, of their tribe, and in fact till date. And another important aspect of Khasi tribe that I really enjoyed in the book, which is highlighted through all the folk tales, is that, everything that is created by God is to be equally respected, whether it is man, nature, animal, beast, etc. So everything that is God's creation is to be respected and looked after for, which I think was a beautiful message. Now, there are 20 folk tales, and they basically are from the time when the man and the beast and the animals, they all spoke the same language. God and angels, frequented the earth, and we had fairies, and basically a time when the man and nature were very closely linked with each other. Now, there are 20 folk tales. I can't discuss all of them, but some of them are, like how the 5 elements came into being, so your earth, air, fire, water, spirit, how did they come into being? How did dog come to live with the mankind, which is a very interesting story, which I'm going to share. Why does a rooster crow in the morning, every morning before sunrise? And why are brooms, in certain culture, brooms used to drive spirits away? Why can't a peacock, like I said, why can't a peacock fly higher? And, in Khasi tribe, when a guest visits you, why is a betel nut and a betel leaf and tobacco and lime, why are these 3-4 elements served when the guest visit you? So all these, are some of my favorite legends that I came across. Now, I have highlighted one which I wanted to talk to you, actually 2. I'll talk to you about the 2 one. How did the dog come to live with man? So it says, there was a time, when all the animals, they lived together, and they were very happy, and they all used to, organize a fair. Now, this fair was, where all the animals came together, and they put up a thing that they wanted to sell, just like the fairs that human beings have. And the tiger at that time was like the king, the one who was in charge. Now, the fair was put in place, and all the animals brought something that they wanted to display and sell, except for dog. So it says here, only the dog never had anything to sell, and he was really struggling. He went around nosing everywhere, but he couldn't find anything. So he went a little further from the jungle, and he came across a substance lying. And he thought that this is something, it smelled weird, but because he wanted to bring something novel and different to the fair, to the market, he thought that why not I take this, So he brought that and he kept it on the table and he started making huge noise around it. Now soon people, they started coming and they started realizing that something smells awfully bad. And they realized that the dog ended up bringing the human waste. And that is what was, really causing this bad smell. And everyone, all the animals started making a huge hue and cry about it, that, you spoiled our market. What is this that you've got? You're selling human waste to us, and this is such a disrespect, etc. And soon, the tiger comes in and he also gets angry. He's like, this was I'm the in charge here, and you disrupted the peace and the joy happening here. So I demand you to, just get out of this place and take your stall away and the stuff that you're selling and never come back. Now the dog tried to reason with the animals, but everyone was so upset they did not give him a chance. So the dog was obviously upset, and he, kind of left the jungle and went to the same place where he found this human waste. And that's where a human being found him and asked him what happened. And he was like, he narrated his story. And obviously the human being took pity on him because, the dog was thrown out of his community. So, the human being asked the dog, why don't you rest here tonight? And the dog tells him, can I stay with you? And in return, I will look after your house and I'll take care for it. I'll guard it. All I need is a place from you that I can stay and food. So initially the human being was quite skeptical, but I think looking at the dog's situation, he took pity and he's like, yeah, okay, you can stay with me and you can guard the house while I give you food. And that's how, the dog started living with mankind. And I think it was a wonderful story that I truly enjoyed. Another tale is of Wren and the river nymph. You can call it as like a river fairy. Now, here was this young fisherman, and he was really handsome. His name was Wren, and he used to go with his friends for fishing. And usually, he used to always come empty-handed. After one particular incident, one particular day, he always started catching, really a lot many number of fishes, and his friends wondered what is it. And then they, started teasing that looks like some river fairy has fallen for you and she's, showering you with all these fishes to take back home. And that was actually the case. Once the boy Wren decided to come alone to the riverside, and the friends were not around, and the river fairy showed herself and, expressed how she had fallen for the boy. And obviously because she was so beautiful, Wren also, fell for him. Now, obviously, one of them had to leave their, either Wren had to leave the land or the fairy had to leave, the river fairy had to leave the water, but they really wanted to be together. So the human boy, he requested that you are a magical creature, you can live both on land and water. So why don't you, come and live with me? Why don't you give up water? She was like, because she was so much in love, she said, okay, I will come and live with you. Provided when I come, the house is absolutely, spick and span. It's absolutely clean. There's no dust anywhere. And the broom that you clean it with should not be in sight. It should be either kept away from the house or hidden that I can't see it. And he was like, okay, I can do that. So he goes back, and obviously the mother is so excited because she feels that, it's a deity and the son is so lucky. And she was like, okay, I'll clean the house and everything. And suddenly when she arrives, the mother is so excited she forgets about hiding the broom away. So when the river fairy, she comes and sits inside and she's happy, suddenly her eyes go around and she sees the broom, and that really drives her away, and she's so upset by it. She goes back to the river, and because the boy loves the river fairy so much, he goes behind her, leaving the mom behind. And that's why, as per the Khasi legends, the brooms are used, they're considered inauspicious, and they are used to drive spirits away. So this was again a folktale that I really enjoyed. Now there are quite few, in the book, but it's absolutely wonderful. Like there was this ritual, legend about how and why did the rooster started crowing in the morning before the sun rises. It was a barter that he did with the man in order to save the mankind. And till date he keeps his promise, and the man keeps his promise to the rooster. They sacrifice the rooster and makes the rooster part of any ritual. So any ritual in the Khasi legend is incomplete without a rooster. And similarly, the rooster has kept his promise to the man that to the sun, that to the man in the sun, that every morning when the sun rises, before the sun rises, the rooster is going to crow and announce the presence of the sun. So all these folk tales was so wonderful to read, and I think it took me back to the time when my grandmother used to make me sit, and sometimes we used to lie down next to her, and she used to pull out these characters from Ramayana and Mahabharata and used to talk about their stories, talk about these wonderful legends which sounded all magical, and I wanted to be a part of that world. So this book reminded me of it. I think some of the stories are also suitable for children, that you could explain them in your own words. So yeah, that was my review on this book. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to like the video. If you have read the book, please let me know in the comments. If there are any other books of legends and folktales that you have read and thoroughly enjoyed, please do mention your suggestions in the comments below. That's all for now. I'm going to see you next week with another title. Till then, take care, bye bye, and like always, keep reading.